What we do not bring to consciousness appears in our lives as fate. Carl Jung. A man doesn't always express what he feels with words, but the body speaks, often louder than language. His eyes, the way he shifts in your presence, the silence between conversations, all of it holds meaning. And if you know how to read between the lines, you'll see that desire has a language of its own. Jung wasn't just speaking about fate. He was talking about all the things we bury deep inside. Repressed desire doesn't vanish. It finds cracks. It escapes in gestures, in fleeting moments that most people ignore. And this is especially true when it comes to sexual attraction. Many women wait for a confession, for something explicit. But truth is, men often don't verbalize their desire. They show it, quietly, unintentionally, through the way they look at you when you laugh, the way they lean in just a little too close, the sudden tension in a room when you're near. If you've ever felt like something unspoken was there but couldn't quite put your finger on it, this video is for you. Today, we'll uncover 7 real signs that a man wants you sexually, even if he never says it out loud. These are the signs that most women miss, not because they're not paying attention, but because no one taught them how desire really works beneath the surface. So let's slow down, look closer, and learn the subtle language of male desire, the kind that doesn't need words to speak volumes. When a man is sexually attracted to a woman, he rarely announces it outright. Most of the time, it shows up in subtle cues, little shifts in behavior that slip past unnoticed unless you know what to look for. The first and most telling sign? His gaze lingers longer than normal. Not just a glance, but a silent kind of watching that goes beyond friendly interest. You might catch him looking at your mouth while you speak, or scanning your body when he thinks you're distracted. It's not aggressive, but it's focused, intentional. And sometimes, in moments where no eye contact is really needed, he'll hold the look just a second too long. According to psychological research, eye contact is one of the strongest indicators of desire. The way someone looks at you, especially when they think no one's watching, can reveal more than any confession ever could. The second sign is often overlooked, but once you notice it, it becomes impossible to ignore. His voice changes when he talks to you. It becomes deeper, more resonant, sometimes even slower. This isn't something he's necessarily doing on purpose. Studies have shown that men unconsciously lower their vocal pitch when speaking to someone they're attracted to. It's primal, rooted in biology. A deeper voice signals masculinity, confidence, and even dominance, all traits historically associated with sexual fitness. So when his tone shifts around you, when his voice softens but deepens, it's not just conversation, it's chemistry talking through sound. Then comes the third sign, those nervous, seemingly meaningless gestures. He touches his hair more than usual, fiddles with his ring or watch, adjusts his shirt collar or smooths out his clothes even when there's nothing out of place. These are not just habits, they're signals. Small, unconscious attempts to self-soothe and look more presentable. When a man is in the presence of a woman who stirs something in him, his body reacts. And because he doesn't always know what to say with words, his hands speak instead. These little behaviors reflect internal tension, an effort to manage desire without making it too obvious. The fourth sign. He positions his body in a way that subtly shows it off. This isn't about vanity, it's instinct. Watch how he stands when he talks to you. Does he square his shoulders, open up his chest? Does he lean on something to flex his arms a little more than necessary? Maybe he sits with the legs apart, taking up more space. These postures are not random. They're classic displays of male presence, strength, and sexuality. When a man is attracted to you, his body naturally tries to appear more dominant, more appealing. It's the subconscious saying, "Notice me, see me." And you will, if you know how to read the signs. None of these signals exist in isolation. On their own, they might seem like nothing. But when they start appearing together, when they start repeating themselves around you specifically, that's when you should pay attention. Because male desire isn't always loud. It doesn't always shout. Sometimes it just looks a little longer, speaks a little deeper, fidgets a little more, and stands a little taller. All for you. We've now reached the second part of this journey, where we move beyond the physical into something more subtle, more revealing, the emotional and behavioral signs. These next three are often the most confusing because they don't come from the body alone. They come from the push and pull of desire, fear, ego, and emotional vulnerability. So let's continue with the final three signs, and this time we're stepping into the psychological space where attraction hides behind behavior. The fifth sign? He gets jealous, but never admits it. You'll notice it in his questions, usually disguised as casual curiosity. Who's that guy you were texting? Or, so, is he just a friend? He doesn't accuse, but he probes. And if you ever talk about a man you admire, even if it's harmless, you might see something shift. His tone becomes colder, or his smile fades just a little. This isn't possessiveness in the toxic sense. It's emotional discomfort. Jealousy in its quiet form reveals one thing. He sees you as someone he wants. And the idea of someone else having access to what he secretly craves? That stirs something in him, even if he tries to play it cool. The sixth sign is both confusing and powerful. He creates intimate moments, but never fully follows through. Maybe he leans in close when you're alone, lingers in your space, lowers his voice, and there's this undeniable tension in the air. But then, nothing. He pulls back, changes the subject, acts like it didn't happen. Why? Because men often experience an inner war between desire and self-protection. A part of him wants you. The other part? It fears rejection. Or maybe it respects you so much that he's scared of crossing a line too soon. This emotional yo-yo isn't a game, it's a sign of someone who feels more than he knows how to handle. It's not rejection, it's restraint, driven by the very attraction he's trying to manage. And the seventh sign is one of the most surprising. He becomes emotionally sensitive to your words. If you criticize him, even lightly, you might notice that it hits harder than expected. He seems bothered, maybe even pulls away for a while. That's because sexual desire doesn't live in isolation. It's deeply tied to how a man feels about himself. And when a woman he desires offers praise, it lifts him. But when she shows disapproval, it shakes something inside him. He may act confident, even detached, but the truth is, your opinion matters more than you realize. His self-worth starts to tie itself to how you respond to him. And that emotional sensitivity, it's not weakness, it's a mirror of how much you're beginning to mean to him beyond the physical. These emotional and behavioral signs can be harder to read, but they often speak louder than the obvious ones. Because when a man is drawn to a woman sexually, it rarely stays at the surface. It seeps into how he listens, how he reacts, how he shifts between closeness and distance. So if you see these signs, not just once, but repeatedly, understand this. It's not confusion, it's conflict. And that conflict is born out of something real. Something that goes deeper than words and sometimes even deeper than he's willing to admit, to you or to himself. In the end, what truly reveals a man's desire isn't always found in his words, it's in the pauses, the glances, the tension he tries to hide. Attraction isn't just about how someone looks, it's a silent energy, a language the body speaks when the mind hesitates. A look that lasts too long, a voice that drops without reason, a moment of closeness followed by sudden distance. These aren't coincidences, they're reflections of something deeper. The truth is, most of what we call chemistry happens beyond words. So don't just listen to what he says, watch what he does when he's not saying anything at all. Be conscious of body language. It rarely lies. It holds truths the mouth is too afraid to speak. And as a woman, the more aware you become of this unspoken communication, the more empowered you'll feel. Because attraction isn't something you chase, it's something you recognize, And once you recognize it, you get to choose what to do with it. If you enjoyed this kind of insight, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and share your experience with us. What was the one sign that made you feel deep down that a man was truly attracted to you, even if he never admitted it?